On Osrc News at 7, Rivers Assembly initiates impeachment proceedings against Fubara, Deputy Governor, as APC kicks against action. New eligible voters in Ondo State commence registration for future polls. Federal government renames Armed Forces Remembrance Day. And from the foreign scene, United States immigration detains fugitive Ghana's ex-finance minister. Good evening. Thank you for joining us on Osrc News at 7. My name is Odumayo Sawyer, and we begin from Rivers State, where the House of Assembly has begun impeachment proceedings against Governor Siminalayi Fubara and his deputy Ngozi Odo. During plenary, presided over by the Speaker of the State House of Assembly, Martins Amahule, the Majority Leader, Major Jack, read out the notice of allegations and gross misconduct against Fubara.
Seizure of salaries, allowances, as well as funds standing to the credit of the legitimate Rivers State House of Assembly, contrary to Section 1213 of the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, 1999, as amended, and other extant laws.
Go to 6, please.
Gross misconduct 6. Seizure of salary of the clerk of Rivers State House of Assembly, Mr. Emeka Amadi. Refusal to implement provisions of the Constitution on financial autonomy of the Rivers State House of Assembly and the Rivers State Judiciary.
Meanwhile, the state chapter of the All Progressives Congress in Rivers State has rejected moves within the State House of Assembly to impeach Governor Siminalayi Fubara and his deputy, describing the development untenable and warning against destabilizing the state government. The party spokesperson, Darlington Uwa Ocho, said the APC leadership rejected the result to an impeachment process against the state governor and his deputy. He noted that it will be totally untenable for the party to keep quiet when an obvious hangover from strifes that occurred within the PDP are allowed to resurface in the great party. Uwaujo advised all members of Rivers State House of Assembly, especially APC members, to resist pressures from outside the Assembly chambers to destabilize the government of Siminalayi Fubara. The party emphasized that it would do everything possible to protect its government in Rivers State from internal strife and urged lawmakers to discontinue the impeachment process to safeguard the state's progress and democratic stability. Away from Rivers State, the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC, has raised the alarm over planned campaigns of calumny by some politicians and groups with vested interests in suspects being investigated or facing prosecution by the Commission. Its spokesperson, Dele Oyewale, said a crowd of paid jobbers has been recruited by some people to orchestrate campaigns of calumny through sponsored media attacks. Oyewale said the attack is targeting the chairman of EFCC, Ola Olukoyede, and the institution with phantom allegations of political bias in the execution of the Commission's mandate. The EFCC spokesman said the essence was to make the Commission afraid of investigating opposition politicians for fear of being labeled partisan. He said the campaign was likely to intensify as the political space becomes charged in the months leading to the 2027 general election. Oyewale said any political actor, whether in the ruling party or opposition party with corruption baggage, has no hiding place from the operational radar and dynamics of the Commission. And in Ondo State, the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, has urged eligible Nigerians, particularly youth aged 18 and above to register as voters in order to fulfill their civic duty ahead of future elections, including the 2027 general elections. The head of Department for Voter Education, Publicity and Gender Inclusivity at INEC office in Ondo State, Olayinka Ogunsheye, spoke in Akure on the resumption of the second phase of the continuous voter registration exercise. Our correspondent, Adewumi Taiwo, reports.
The Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, has resumed the second phase of its nationwide continuous voter registration exercise. In Ondo State, eligible voters are trooping to INEC offices to register as old voters, update their details, or transfer their voter information using the electronic system. INEC officials are on ground attending to registrants, guiding them through the process and ensuring strict adherence to guidelines. INEC Head of Department for Voter Education, Publicity and Gender Inclusivity in Ondo State, Olayinka Ogunsheye, said the exercise is necessary as it is the only way qualified Nigerians can participate in the 2027 elections. Ogunsheye added that equipment and personnel will soon be deployed to the ward level to make registration easier for residents.
The second phase of the continuous voter registration exercise started on the 5th and it will be ending on the 17th of April 2026. INEC has given every eligible citizen the opportunity to come out. Maybe you've been busy or you are not aware or anything. This is now your opportunity to come out and register.
Some residents who spoke with Osrc said registering is essential to enable them vote and participate fully in the electoral process.
It's a welcome development and it's part of the dividends of democracy, as this is our way of electing our leaders, having a say in what is going on in the government and politics of our states.
The exercise is very seamless. I just walk in, they attend to me very well, and within the next 30 minutes I'm through with what I'm doing, and the staff are very fantastic.
As the second phase of INEC's continuous voter registration exercise continues in Akure and across Ondo State, there are high expectations that it will produce a more credible, inclusive, and updated voters register for future elections. Adewumi Taiwo, Osrc News.
Engineering and Technical Services Department of Ondo State Radio Vision Corporation, Osrc, has held its end-of-year get-together for members. The event provided an opportunity to reflect on achievements recorded in 2025 and appreciate retired officers. Blessing Obi has details.
It was a moment of reflection and appreciation as staff of the Engineering and Technical Services Department of Osrc gathered to thank God for the year 2025 and set projections for 2026. The get-together brought together management staff of the corporation as well as retirees who had served in the department. Chairman of the Planning Committee, Mercy Akingbade, described the event as an avenue to foster unity, urging members to work together.
Today is not just about food, it's not just about music and relaxation, but it's about fellowship, unity and appreciation. It's an opportunity for us to step away briefly from our daily technical routine as engineers so as we can connect together and meet each other on a more personal level and strengthen our bond together.
Director of Engineering and Technical Services, Osrc, Femi Ayekomilogbon, highlighted achievements recorded in the department and praised retired officers for their dedication and service.
The Engineering and Technical Service Department has played a central role in this evolution through the planning, execution, and implementation of several high-impact, high-technology projects. Among these achievements are the installation of two 200 kVA uninterruptible power supply UPS system dedicated to our studios and transmitters, which has significantly improved power supply and protected critical broadcast equipment. The installation of industry-grade lighting arrestors with associated earthing pit, strengthening the safety and resilience of our broadcast infrastructure.
In their goodwill messages, directors from various departments commended the engineering department for its contributions to the corporation.
It is a thing of joy to celebrate ourselves. It is good when you remember all those that had worked, that had labored in the past 1 year, and even calling on all those that had retired and celebrating them. I just use this opportunity again to congratulate you all and say it is worthwhile.
We work every day closely using the facilities of the Engineering and Technical Services Department. And today that we are here to celebrate these people, particularly for the initiative of the DETS Engineering Development to bring our retirees from the department back for honor. I think it deserves applause.
Since the DG assumed office, our Department of Engineering and Technical Services has been living up to expectation. As a matter of fact, our equipment are very old. Yet, you people work around the clock to ensure that we are here.
There's no time the marketing department just called on our director, engineer, that will not attend to us. Always ready for us. So we appreciate God in your lives, sir. And to all the staff, only director alone cannot do it, is by your support. Congratulations to everybody.
Director General OSRC Kenneth Odushola Stevenson applauded the department and encouraged staff to trust in God, remain united, and grow stronger together.
My experience with engineer dates back to about 30 years. Not because of my practice, but simply because I took it upon myself to study the built environment and to report for the built environment and to publish for the built environment. That's why when people see me being passionate about the professionals, architects, engineers, town planners, they should know that it's what I have done for about 30 years. And I really, really appreciate the engineers that are here. Now, I must commend every one of them for staying the course to connect us to the national grid within 30 days. It wasn't a small thing.
A major highlight of the event was the presentation of an award to the Director General in recognition of his resilience and determination in positioning the corporation to meet global standards. Some retirees were also honored for their outstanding service and contributions to the corporation. The department says it remained committed to supporting the corporation's vision of a stronger and more technologically advanced OSRC. Blessing Obi, OSRC News.
Still ahead in the news, Defense Headquarters announces change in nomenclature of armed forces. Remember, stay. That will be after this break. Don't go away. You're welcome back. You can watch us live on our website www.osrc.ng or follow us on Facebook at Osrc TV, and on YouTube you can subscribe to our channel Osrc TV Ondo. The Defense Headquarters has announced that January 15, which is annually set aside by the federal government to honor personnel of the Armed Forces of Nigeria, will henceforth be known as Armed Forces Celebration and Remembrance Day. Previously observed as Armed Forces Remembrance Day, January 15 was traditionally dedicated to honoring fallen soldiers, particularly through ceremonies at the tomb of the unknown soldier. Explaining the change, a senior military official, Major General Uba, said the new designation was adopted to better reflect the dual purpose of the occasion, celebrating serving and retired personnel of the armed forces, while also remembering those who paid the supreme price in defense of the nation. According to him, the observance recognizes the sacrifices of fallen heroes who laid down their lives to safeguard Nigeria's territorial integrity, as well as the dedication of officers and men currently serving to protect lives and property across the country. He noted that the commemoration is usually preceded by a week-long program of activities culminating in a grand parade and wreath-laying ceremony on January 15. As part of its vision to bring hope to widows and the elderly in Ondo community, Ilerioluwa House of Hope has presented food items to 400 widows. The facilitator and chairman of Ilerioluwa House of Hope, Hakim Oyinayi, promised to continue supporting the beneficiaries to make life more bearable for them. Omorio Langweji reports that the exercise took place at the organization's healthcare facility in Ondo.
Distribution of the food items commenced early as beneficiaries arrived in batches. Ilerioluwa House of Hope was established in Ondo to provide free basic primary healthcare services to widows and the aged regardless of their background. Beyond providing healthcare services to a large number of people, the Ilerioluwa House of Hope also make transport fare available for regular hospital visitation, alongside other support items such as foodstuffs and materials. In the spirit of the festive season, the chairman presented packs of rice and beans to 400 beneficiaries who regularly receive medical care and other necessary support from the facility. Speaking at the event, Mr. Hakim Oyinayi noted that widowhood is a sensitive condition that requires sustained attention and support.
Widows suffer a lot. Thank God my father's relations have not come to remove my father's things. But some of these people, their husbands even come. Just for having children to remove things from the house. So widows suffer a lot. So I now decided that look, to mark my 60th birthday, which was 6 years ago, that I was going to set up a foundation in honor of my parents that will fund the Ilerioluwa House of Hope, where we can look after these ones.
He acknowledged that the responsibility is huge and challenging, but assured that with God's grace, the organization will not relent.
We want to concentrate on these widows. I mean, I call them a widow. I don't call them widows anymore. I call them sweet mothers. You understand? I call them sweet mothers because they're sweet. Did you see them down there? I love them. It's as if my mother is still alive. You understand? So I don't want to do this. But we also at the Eye Foundation, we do eyes, annual eye outreach for everyone. Okay, for everyone. But our major focus is on the widows.
Beneficiaries expressed appreciation for the quality services and consistent support they enjoy at the facility.
Jajanuwa celebrate New Year for us with rice and beans, plenty. We enjoy all the year that we are enjoying it.
Ó fún wa lówó, ó fún wa lóògùn, ó tún fún wa lóúnjẹ. Mo gbàdúrà ní orúkọ Jésù kò ní fi eléyìí ṣe àṣemọ́.
It's too good and it's fine. When I get problem, take care of me, carry me go hospital.
bí mo ti sìn mọ́ ṣàdúrà bí mo ti jí mọ́ ṣàdúrà ṣì mẹ́ ṣàdúrà kò tẹ́.
Ileoluwa House of Hope is solely funded by Mr. Oyenoyi and his wife with support from close friends. Omoyola Ngbeji, OSRC News.
In other news, following the demise of his deputy, Bayelsa State Governor Doyediri has ordered all his cabinet members to undergo compulsory medical examination. Diri, who gave the directive during a cabinet meeting in Yenagwa, directed the Commissioner for Health, Seiyefa Brisibe, to ensure that every member of the State Executive Council undergo the compulsory medical check. He disclosed that an autopsy on the late Deputy Governor had been conducted and that the result would be made public at the right time. While cautioning against politicizing Lawrence Erujaku's health death, Diri disclosed that a burial committee headed by the Secretary to the State Government had been constituted. The late Bayelsa State Deputy Governor had slumped and died on December 11, 2025, plunging the state into mourning. The Independent Corrupt Practices and Other CPC says it would continue its investigation of corruption allegations against immediate past Chief Executive Officer of Nigerian Midstream and Downstream Petroleum Regulatory Authority (NMDPRA), Ahmed Farouk, despite the withdrawal of the petition by Chairman of Dangote Group, Aliko Dangote. ICPC in a statement pointed out that it is in receipt of a notice of withdrawal of petition against Ahmed by the legal counsel to Alhaji Dangote. The Commission will nonetheless proceed with ongoing investigation in line with its Enabling Act. The anti-graft body said investigation is in the interest of the Nigerian people and the Nigerian state has already commenced it. ICPC added that it will continue to investigate the matter in line with its statutory mandate and in the interest of transparency, accountability, and the fight against corruption for the benefit of Nigeria. Dangote had called on ICPC to arrest, investigate, and prosecute Farouk for offenses bordering on corruption and financial impropriety in the performance of his duties as CEO of the Petroleum Regulatory Agency. An Akwa Ibom cleric, John Okoriko, has slammed Christian pilgrims who return from Holy Land with items such as mud, sand, and olive oil for healing. He said such items amounts to nothing but empty face, as God does not pass through them to heal his people. Okoriko, who stated this in Oyo, faulted the yearly movement of Christian faithful to Jerusalem just to have a glimpse of Solomon's temple built many years ago, saying God does not live there. He advised Nigerians to cultivate relationship with God and experience heavenly places in Christ instead of running to Jerusalem as the Holy Land, which has expired and taken over by war, killing of innocent people, and religion. And moving on to the foreign scene, Ghana's former finance minister, Ken Ofori-Atta, who is wanted at home on corruption allegations, has been detained in the U.S. over issues related to his immigration status. Ghana has previously requested Ofori-Atta's extradition, but his lawyers are challenging this, saying the allegations against him are politically motivated. Ofori-Atta left Ghana last year for medical reasons. The politician faces dozens of charges related to his time in office under the previous administration, including conspiracy to commit procurement fraud and causing financial loss to the state. Last February, prosecutors in Ghana declared the former minister a fugitive, alleging that he was trying to evade investigators. Brazil's military police have been placed on high alert along the border with Venezuela amid growing fears that armed groups and criminal gangs could cross into Brazilian territory. Authorities inspect every vehicle, but beyond the checkpoint, thousands of clandestine paths cut through vast stretches of empty land. The report is presented by Blessing Obey.
A 2,200-kilometer frontier separates Brazil from Venezuela, yet the only official crossing is a heavily monitored highway linking the Brazilian town of Pacarima to Sanajayan of the Venezuelan side. Authorities here inspect every vehicle, but beyond the checkpoint, thousands of clandestine paths cut through vast stretches of empty land. Until now, Brazil's security forces have mainly dealt with migrants fleeing Venezuela's economic collapse, but recent U.S. military strikes and the capture of President Nicolas Maduro have put Brazilian forces on high alert. Military Police Captain Jose Mari Albano says militias may attempt to flee Venezuela if the regime falls.
We fear paramilitary groups with criminal records who have been heavily armed to help Maduro stay in power will try to flee the country. The closest and most accessible border is the one with Brazil.
There are 3 tribes on both sides of the border. Venezuela Indigenous Ranger says political turmoil has changed how they patrol their land.
We used to patrol every 5 hours. Now, it's non-stop.
In the Brazilian indigenous community, the same fear is felt.
We're feeling nervous. If there is political violence in Venezuela, our brothers across the border will rush here to seek refuge and we'll be caught in the crossfire.
From above, the border looks calm, but on the ground, tensions run high. Blessing Obi, Osrc News.
And with that report, we end the Osrc News at 7. But before we go, another look at the major stories. Members of the Rivers State House of Assembly have begun impeachment proceedings against Governor Siminalayi Fubara and his Deputy Governor Ngozi Oduli. However, in a reversal of interest, the All Progressives Congress in the state has urged the legislators to halt the move. As INEC resumes the second phase of its nationwide continuous voter registration exercise, eligible voters have started to show up to register. We told you that the federal government has designated the Armed Forces Remembrance Day, celebrated annually on January 15, to Armed Forces Celebration and Remembrance Day. And from the foreign scene, the United States immigration authorities have taken former Ghanaian Finance Minister Ken Ofori-Atta into custody over issues regarding his visa status. And that's the news. Thank you so much for watching. Good evening.